Hello everybody, this is Terry with your planetary retrograde reading. I like to say I got 8 planets retrograde and Mercury is the least of my worries right now. And I am recording this at home because here in Central Oregon we are under unhealthy smoky skies. And we have all these planets retrograde, and I've been attempting to make this for a little bit, and I've just had retrograde fever too. I've had all kinds of obstacles in my way, so I'm recording this at home with Ganesh, the god who helps you to overcome obstacles. And the secret is, the reason Ganesh can take the obstacles away is he is the one who put them there to begin with to teach you a valuable lesson. And Ganesh is very Saturn. He reminds me of the planet Saturn, where he's going to teach you these lessons. But if it gets really hard, you can pray to Ganesh and he will remove the obstacle that he put there to teach you a lesson. So these retrogrades are here to teach us all valuable lessons, and we're just not getting out of it. It's the homework that is due, and your dog better not eat it. This retrograde season is about forcing us to make powerful, deep, internal changes. And if the retrogrades don't get you, boy, that Taurus Scorpio eclipse axis certainly will. And that's coming up this fall. I'll be with you all along the way to tell you about all of these different aspects. And we're just all headed into some changing times. Are you feeling it? I'm definitely feeling it. And what is changing for you? I'd love to know. Leave it in the comments. I just love to hear about how these retrogrades are affecting people, because I have so many friends right now who are just emailing, texting, and saying, what is going on? And so I'm here to tell you today. And if you want to know how these astrological retrogrades are affecting you personally, so each of these planets will show up in a transit in different areas for each and every one of you. I am going to do an astrology sale for $88. I'm going to do a planetary retrograde chart. So I'll look at all 8 planets and where the retrogrades are happening. And this includes north and south node of the moon, that Taurus Scorpio axis. So it also prepares you for the eclipse portal to come this fall. And I'll leave a link down below where you can order it. Or you can also just email me your date of birth, time, and location to kamimihealingarts@gmail.com. I'll put it all down below. And if you leave a comment right now about how you are feeling with these retrogrades, I will put you in it to win a free retrograde astrology chart. I'm going to give one away on the full moon in Aries when I do that full moon in Aries report. So make sure you check back, and then you'll have to email me your information to get your free astrology chart. And if you have been watching my astrology all summer, you know that I've been talking about this fall for a while now and saying, get ready. You know, the fall is gonna be crazy. And we've already seen some failure to launch issues with NASA having troubles launching. And then just today, Jeff Bezos' rocket crashes right after liftoff. And you would think that these people, these guys who love space so much, would pay attention to planetary retrogrades. But the truth is, sometimes we still have to do the thing. Even if it is a retrograde, you may still have a class. You may still have to go to work, and you got to drive across town, and you got, it's like we can't just not do anything all year because there's retrogrades. And so still she persisted. I know we've got to persist and move on. And I'm going to show you how you can persist and still get things done for each and every one of these retrogrades. I'll just show you what it's about and how you might be feeling it, and how you can still get on with your life, even regardless of all of the retrogrades. And I have been saying this fall is going to be intense, and get ready. And I can't help but think of the story of the ant and the grasshopper. If you know that story, the ant worked hard all summer and into the fall, preparing for the changing season, getting ready for the big change. That winter is coming, and you see ants and they're carrying food to their den, and the ant carried all of the food to the den and made all the preparations. Meanwhile, the grasshopper was just out singing and dancing every night and just having a blast and just enjoying his summer. And the story is to teach you to prepare and store your resources and get ready for the season to shift into winter. But honestly, this year, I don't know if it really matters that the ant made all those preparations when we have all this inflation. And maybe the grasshopper actually did better to just go out and enjoy life and just, I don't know, who knows if any of us will even be here tomorrow. And with a global economic recession looming, I don't know, did the ant really do that much better to prepare? I don't think there's anything you can do to prepare for all these planetary retrogrades. And so let's go through the tour. I'm going to try to go through each of these retrogrades in the order that the planets went retrograde, and you will see that we have quite a few. And it begins with Pluto. And Pluto was the first to retrograde way back in April. And it won't station direct until October 8th. So Pluto, god of the underworld, loves to go backwards. And we've been soaking in this transformative, powerful energy all of 2022. And Pluto rules over our past lives and our ancestors. And you might be meeting people this year that feel like soulmates, or like you know them. Maybe you've met friends or lovers who just you feel this karmic connection to, and you're playing out these karmic life lessons with this person that feels like family or feels so past life familiar. I know a lot of people have had these kind of past life relationships this year. And this is also an excellent time to go back into your ancestral line and see what needs to heal, but also just trying to learn from the ancestral patterns. For me, my ancestors were forced to move frequently. I have a German descent, and our first country was Prussia, which is not even a country now. I have so much compassion for people in Ukraine and everything they're going through, because my family came from Prussia, which is not even on the map anymore. And I have these family plates that say Prussia, and Prussia doesn't even exist on a map. And then we moved from Prussia to this nice little town called Dresden, which of course got blown up and had to move and relocate again. But I'm here today because my ancestors did successfully get out of the danger zones and they moved. And so I have this ancestral need to move to the next good place that feels safer and feels like there might be better opportunity. And I was raised by a mother who frequently wanted to move house to get to a better, safer place. And so that is the kind of ancestral karma that I can take a look at and go, maybe I don't need to move. Maybe this is just my ancestors speaking, and this ancestral need to move to be safe just needs some healing. Or is there a message that, when Central Oregon is constantly in drought and wildfire, maybe I do need to move? I don't know, but that's the kind of thing that can come up with this Pluto retrograde. It's just digging up a lot of our past lives. You might be having dreams about past lives, or connecting to your past life in some way, or just feeling like, oh, this feels familiar, a lot of deja vu and that ancestral healing. And Pluto actually means wealth in Greek. And Pluto is the god of the underworld, where our Earth's minerals are stored. So this is where we find treasures and hidden resources from the underworld coming to the surface now. And I find it fascinating this year with all of these droughts. We are seeing some beautiful rock formations that have been underwater for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And now these rocks are coming up, and there could be other archaeological treasures to be found as the waters go down and things are showing up. That is so Pluto. And Pluto rules over Scorpio. So of course, Pluto retrograde relates to all things Scorpio-esque, like power. You may be having control issues, either in relationships or at work, your possessions, obsessions, sex, secrets, and we may be struggling with all these kind of Scorpio issues during this retrograde as we're forced to look at ourselves and make a deep inner transformative change that heals not only our current situation, but maybe perhaps past life healing, ancestral healing. It's bigger than just right here, right now kind of healing that Pluto demands with this retrograde. And that will go through October. And then Saturn went retrograde on June 4th. And this is those big karmic lessons. And you will reap what you sow. So hopefully you've been sowing good things. If you do good deeds, you will have good things coming back. There will be rewards for good work, but there will also be retributions and punishment as Saturn is going way back because he forgot to get justice for something that went wrong, some wrongdoings that happened a while ago. And I find it interesting that we're seeing now with Trump's whole cabinet getting in trouble, legal trouble. There's so many people tied to Trump that are going to jail and going to court, and Trump himself. And Saturn can just be the Lord of karma. It is time for people to pay if they have committed crimes. And we will be seeing that as Saturn continues to go retrograde. But Saturn can also reward good karma. So I think of Saturn retrograde like Santa Claus coming to town. And are you on the nice list? And maybe you're going to get a pony? Or are you on the naughty list? And maybe you're going to get coal in your stockings. So Saturn will just demand you to get your life together. Saturn is like that teacher. If you ever had that teacher in school that you just didn't really like, but then later you have respect and you appreciate them because they actually did teach you so much that changed your life and they made you the better person that you are today. But at the time you were like, God, that class was so hard. That teacher was so difficult. And Saturn rules over fate and destiny. So there can be, your life path may suddenly shift to align you to your greater purpose, your soul's life lesson. What are you doing here? What do you need to accomplish? Saturn is going to put you on the path to your fate and your destiny now and give you these powerful lessons for your soul's divine growth. And there will be no skipping class with Saturn. And where is Saturn showing up for you? Where are the soul lessons in your life? Wherever your Saturn is where your soul needs to develop some big life lessons. And for me, Saturn is in my 10th house. So I have what they call a strong Saturn because Saturn rules over the 10th house. So, oh boy, that's why I love Ganesh, because I know Saturn all too well. And I have a strong Saturn placement in the 10th house. I'm very connected to the Lord of Karma. And I found that chanting to Shiva and Ganesh can really help me release some of the intensity of Saturn and remove some of those heavy obstacles that are there for your soul's growth. So if you have an intense Saturn placement, you might try chanting Om Namah Shivaya 1,000 million billion times, you know, just to help you out. But remember, I'm doing this Astrology Chart retrogrades for $88. You can find out where Saturn is in your house and where the Lord of Karma will be visiting you right now. And then moving on to Jupiter. Jupiter went retrograde on July 28th in Aries, and he will go all the way back to Pisces, where he loves to be, probably because he forgot to give that windfall to the water signs. And this will be good news for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Your wishes may come true after all. And Jupiter stations direct on November 23rd, and then he starts heading back towards Aries, and that's when the party will be over for the water signs. So if you're a water sign, make your wishes now and hope that it comes true before 11/23. Because the Jupiter, planet of expansion, the king who grants wishes, will be going from Aries to Pisces. And this is a time for us all to be thinking about what it is we really want and how in the heck will we get it. Jupiter wants us to go back and say, you know, I didn't get that thing that I wanted, but I'm going to try a different technique. I'm going to try something, a different way to expand myself, a different way to move forward, so that maybe this time I will get it. And really your best chance to manifest it will be on the Jupiter trine Venus, which is happening on November 15th. And I did a whole video about this magical transit as we get one more lucky chance to manifest this year. So make the best of November 15th. Set that aside, put a little gold star on November 15th. And Jupiter retrograde in Aries is asking us to truly believe in ourselves, believe in our own superpowers to make things happen. And Jupiter in Pisces is asking us, what are we willing to let go of? And to have everything that we want. What is blocking us from having everything we want? And it can be an emotion like fear, or feeling unworthy or not deserving of what we want. Or it can be an actual physical thing, like having too much clutter in your house, or just even having your desk aligned in the wrong way. I know we had a desk facing the wall, and I just learned that is a poverty sign. When your desk is facing the wall, you want your desk to face the door. So we just shifted that. You know, that's the kind of thing. Jupiter in Pisces is like, pay attention to your surroundings and see if there's something you can let go, or is there something you can energetically shift. Perhaps you need an energy clearing or a space clearing to just let go and shift the energy so that you can receive what it is you want with this Jupiter going retrograde. And then we have Uranus in Taurus, who went retrograde on August 24th and will go all the way until Saturday, January 22nd, 2023. So Uranus in Taurus has been, I've been talking about Uranus so much if you follow. Uranus in Taurus has been causing chaos for years related to the current state of our Earth crisis. Taurus is an Earth sign. And if you don't know what that is, it's the historical drought, wildfires, floods, tornadoes, tsunamis, famine, food supply issues, massive extinction of animals, temperatures rising, you know, all the earth things. Uranus in Taurus has been causing all of this catastrophe to try to wake us up to what is going on And still everyone is just scrolling on their phones looking for the latest TikTok craze. I can't even believe what is going on in our world right now. It seems like no one really cares. No one's paying attention until the flood is in your front yard and you're getting in a canoe. You might want to have a canoe. Or you can't even go outside because it's too smoky or too hot or unbearable. And when will we wake up? I hope it's before, it's too late. But Uranus is just going back, really getting more intense. And he's been squaring Saturn, and he's just really trying to get our attention. And Uranus will continue to shake things up in this retrograde. We may see earthquakes and even greater food supply issues. And most of all, Uranus is going to be testing our patience, because patience is ruled by Taurus. So maybe you're already feeling this, and you're just going to have to take that deep breath and try to be patient with things going on that are shaking you up with Uranus, because patience is something Taurus has a lot of, but not all of us do. So next up is Chiron in Aries, and this is the wounded warrior healer who's been making a Chiron return for anyone born between 1969 through 1976. And Chiron in Aries is asking us to heal our deepest wounds and transform them into our deepest gifts. And I wrote about Chiron in Aries return in my Reiki for Abundance book, because I am a deep Chiron in Aries person here myself. And I definitely am a 7th generational healer, wounded warrior healer, and I resonate so heavily with Chiron and Aries. I did a whole report about it on my Bend Health Guide channel as well. And Chiron in Aries retrograding is saying, stop everything. It is time to heal thyself. And so some people may be having healing crisis. I know cancer is really on the rise in my community. There's just these kind of situations where you have to stop your life because maybe now you have a stage 4 cancer diagnosis and nothing else matters but healing. And that's the kind of thing that can come up with this Chiron in Aries retrograde, especially if you were born between 1969 and 1976. This is the time to heal those old, deep wounds. We never want to heal. We never want to take time out of our lives. I know so many people, if they get a cold or even if they get COVID, they just want to go back to work. They just want to have a normal life. But now is the time to heal your wounds, and Chiron will not let you ignore it anymore. And then we've had Neptune in Pisces, causing confusion, delusion. And when Neptune is in Pisces, it's such a dreamy aspect. And then Neptune goes retrograde and it becomes even more powerful. It's like that ocean wave pulling you into the undertow. And this is a time to avoid drugs and alcohol. Please, for the love of God, do not take drugs and alcohol during Neptune retrograde. And I can't remember when Neptune goes direct, but this can just be such a time of fantasy and that Alice in Wonderland kind of energy. And it kind of calls to you to want to do something mystical, magical, psychedelic, but it's really not a good time. We can see a lot of people going crazy. I think we've all witnessed a little more crazy in our world, and that is definitely the Neptune in Pisces not having a handle on reality. So this is asking you to just stay sober, stay aware, because it's already the energy wants to pull you into the undertow. And it's just like when you're at the beach. You don't want to get further and further out until you cannot swim. So just be really mindful of this Neptune in Pisces. This may be the most dangerous retrograde of all. And then we have the north and south nodes of the moon also retrograding on that Taurus Scorpio axis. And this fall, we will enter that eclipse portal once again that relates to death, transformation, and rebirth. And this will be making life difficult, I'm sorry to say, for all the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. We all have those signs somewhere in our chart. So wherever you have Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, that's where you're going to be feeling the changes of this eclipse portal with the North Node, South Node, retrograde. And yeah, if you are a Scorpio or you are a Taurus or you have your North Node in Taurus or Scorpio, you also let me know in the comments. I'd love to know how many people are going to be feeling it. I'm a Scorpio. I'm going to be feeling it. My husband's got North Node Scorpio. He's going to be feeling it. We're all going to be feeling it, but especially wherever those fixed signs are. And then everybody's favorite, we cannot forget Mercury retrograde. Mercury has a 116-day cycle that begins with a conjunction with the sun. And this year in 2022, on September 23rd, is Mercury's solar return, or shall we say Mercury's birthday. As it begins anew, at this time, Mercury will be bringing us fresh, new ideas. So even though Mercury is retrograde right now, we can have some positive Mercury aspects. And if you can put a star on your calendar for that 9/23, or even better, take the day off, this is when you can put your thinking cap on and really do some brainstorming and do some writing. And I'm so excited to have Mercury conjunct the sun, because this is when we can think clearly, possibly for the first time in all of 2022. And this brand new cycle of Mercury will just bring these fresh new inspirations. And if you take time to align with the energy on this Sun-Mercury conjunction, I'll talk more about this in my autumn equinox reading, by the way. It will be a celestial moment when the Sun, Mercury, and the Earth, the stars are literally aligning. And it occurs in the middle of this Mercury retrograde that we have been under since September 10th. And Dane Rudyard, gifted astrologer who's responsible for the Sabian symbols, I loved how he named this first half of Mercury's cycle as Promethean, for the mythological Titan who stole the fire from the gods and brought it to earth to warm and enlighten us, and to just give us all this inspiration and light and warmth. And I mean, so much came out of man having fire, and it was Promethean, the god, who took fire and gave it to humans. And we can find great inspiration during this Mercury retrograde. I know you think Mercury retrograde's all bad, but there's actually this fire, this seed of inspiration when Mercury and the Sun conjunct on September 23rd. And if we take time to align with Mercury, who's going from Libra all the way back to Virgo now, and then Mercury turns direct 15 days after this Sun conjunction, and about a week later, Mercury will reach its greatest distance from the Sun. In Mercury's quicksilver fashion, Mercury's going to go so fast, twice as fast as the Sun. And then it will reach its superior conjunction with the Sun. So this is some really powerful Mercury energy that you can harness to really manifest with your Jedi mind powers. And this superior conjunction with Mercury is kind of like Mercury is now a full moon. You know, Mercury is in its greatest potency at this time. And this is all an intense Mercury cycle that we are in right now. And Mercury retrograde, it's not all bad. There is some real positives here if you can just mine them. It's like gold mining for the good of Mercury retrograde. So do your best to take time off around September 23rd, right as we go into that equinox time, to get into your Jedi mind skills and take time away from anything that is distracting you, like social media or, just anything that's taking your focus away. You're going to want to hyper focus at the equinox this year and use this cycle of Mercury. There's actually 4 phases in the Mercury cycle: Promethean retrograde, Promethean direct, Epimethean direct, and Epimethean retrograde. And I'm sure I've lost some of you now, but this is actually a fascinating aspect to look at in your chart. And if you get that retrograde chart, I'll tell you which cycle of Mercury you have. For me, I have Promethean direct, so I'm like, I got the fire and I'm going places with the Promethean fire. And I'm in really good company with Joni Mitchell and the Dalai Lama, and we have like inspiration to make change. I love change. Change doesn't really scare me. I'm all for it. I got the fire. But if you were born during Mercury retrograde, you might not like all these changes that these retrogrades are happening. So it just depends. But I'll include that in the retrograde reading. And the last retrograde, last but certainly not least, I love this retrograde so much, is Vesta, the asteroid Vesta. And she may be small, but this Vesta retrograde is no little thing, I tell you. Know your Vesta. Where is your Vesta asteroid in your chart? Do you know? If you know, drop it down below because I'd love to know. Because Vesta represents that divine, feminine energy rising, and it rules over the harvest and food supplies and our very survival. Vesta is all about our survival issues. In ancient Rome, Vesta was Saturn's daughter, and she was one of the 3 Vestal virgins who were in charge of keeping the sacred fires burning. And these sacred fires in Rome, they protected the city from any kind of strife. They probably protected it from plagues. And in this time, women were empowered and revered for holding these sacred fires that protected the whole city of Rome. Can you imagine how powerful Vesta is, even though she's a little asteroid astrologically? She protected all of Rome at one point with her sacred fires. And this Vesta retrograde really represents our fire within. And we can tap into this fire for our own healing, for our own survival, for inspiration, creativity. This is where you will find your divine feminine energy in your chart when you know your Vesta. For me, my Vesta resides in the 3rd house of communication and writing. So no wonder I have a magazine and I've written a book on Reiki. I love to write. I love to even just writing emails and communicating with a community of healers. I love communication. And so wherever you find Vesta in your chart is where you will find your special way to shine. Your fire, your sacred fire resides wherever Vesta is. And Vesta retrograde wants us to reclaim our sacred fires that we might have lost, honestly, in the last 2 years. I know a lot of people have lost their sacred fire. And what was it that you wanted to do with this one precious life again? Vesta retrograde is going to help you reclaim it, reclaim the light. And how will you keep your fires burning for your very own survival? This is so important. And Vesta really is so powerful. She's just lighting a fire for all of us during this retrograde. And what inspiration do you need to reignite this fall? Vesta is going to help you find it. And you can find out where your Vesta is, where you need to light the fires and, you know, get your sacred fire going by having a retrograde chart. Or you can also just go online and get a free astrological chart and look for Vesta, the asteroid, in your chart. And thank you so much for watching this retrograde. My cameraman has gone back to school. He's a teacher, so I'm doing this on my iPhone, so you have to tell me what you think of the quality. I know it's not as good as when we're out in nature, and we got the 4K Sony camera, but I hope that this will suffice for now. And when we get over this retrograde season, maybe I'll get back to some better quality 4K videos, but this is just my iPhone. But thank you so much for watching, and please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you can hear all about the eclipse portal that is coming this fall and what that means. And I'm going to send you all some retrograde energy. We will get through it. We will. And I'm going to send you all some energy. If you want me to send you personal energy healing, just leave a comment below and I promise I will. Or if you need an energy clearing, you can reach out. I also do Zoom. I think I'm going to do more Zoom sessions this fall, especially, I don't know if we get, I know so many people right now who have COVID. Is that part of this retrograde too, or what? But if we start seeing the numbers spike with COVID, I'm probably going to be doing even more online Zoom healing. So feel free to sign up for that too. The link is KamimiHealingArts.com and I'll have it down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you get through this retrograde season seamlessly.